In Greek mythology, the Oceanids were a group of 3,000 nymphs who were the daughters of Oceanus and Tethys. They were known for their beauty and grace, and were often depicted wearing crowns made of seaweed and shells. These nymphs were associated with water bodies like rivers, lakes, and oceans, and had the power to control them. The Oceanids were known for their music and singing, and they often celebrated important events. When Zeus was born, they sang and played music to celebrate his arrival. They were also known to protect sailors at sea, and sailors would offer them libations to ensure their safety. One of the most well-known Oceanids was Thetis, who was the mother of Achilles. Her beauty and shape-shifting abilities made her famous among the gods and mortals alike. She was one of the few Oceanids who was elevated to the status of a goddess. Despite their beauty and grace, not all of the Oceanids were immune to punishment by the gods. For example, the Oceanid Aura was transformed into a fountain by Artemis after she boasted about her beauty. In the end, the Oceanids were an important part of Greek mythology, representing the power and beauty of water. Their stories continue to be told to this day, inspiring awe and wonder in those who hear them. Once upon a time, in Greek mythology, there was a powerful and intriguing group of nymphs known as the Oceanids. They were the daughters of the god of the world-encircling river, Oceanus, and the sea goddess, Tethys. Their brothers were personifications of the great rivers, and they were known to be associated with water, especially those connected to the springs. These nymphs were not easily confined to one category, as many of them were significant figures in their own right. Among them were the personification of intelligence, Métis, and the sea goddess, Doris. The Oceanids were tasked by Zeus with the responsibility of caring for and protecting youths, which they carried out with utmost diligence. As wives of many gods, the Oceanids were also mothers to several other gods and goddesses. For instance, Nereids, the 50 sea nymphs, were born to Doris, while Eurynomé, Zeus' third wife, was the mother of the Charites. Sailors regularly sought the favor of the Oceanids, dedicating prayers, libations, and sacrifices to them, seeking their protection against the dangers of the sea. Such was their power that even Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, requested a choir of 60 Oceanids to serve as her handmaids and remain virgins. The Oceanids remain an essential part of Greek mythology, associated with water, youth, and influence. And that's the story of the intriguing Oceanids. Once upon a time in ancient Greece, there were a group of nymphs named the Oceanids. They were believed to be the daughters of the Titans Oceanus and Tethys. According to Hesiod, there were 41 named Oceanids, but it was suggested by other sources that there were many more. These nymphs were responsible for various natural bodies of water, including springs, rivers, lakes, and oceans. Some of their names were directly inspired by the water bodies that they were responsible for, while others were simply created as poetic inventions. One interesting fact about the Oceanids is that they were known for having youths in their keeping, which is reflected in some of their names such as Pluto, Tyche, Idaea, and Métis. These names represented things that parents would hope for their children, such as wealth, luck, knowledge, and wisdom respectively. Apart from names inspired by the things their nymphs were responsible for, other Oceanids were named after geographical locations. Some examples include Europa, Asia, Ephora, and Rhodos. The most interesting fact about their names was that some were also given to the Nereids, who were another group of nymphs in Greek mythology. It is unclear why these names were shared between the two groups, but it is possible that they represented a common association with bodies of water, or perhaps they were simply popular names for mythical beings. Regardless, the Oceanids were an important part of Greek mythology, and their names and stories continue to be told to this day. In ancient Greek mythology, the Oceanids were a group of sea nymphs who played various roles throughout the tales of the gods. One of their most prominent appearances was in the play Prometheus Bound, where they formed the chorus and tried to comfort the hero as he was chained to a rock. Later, in Percy Bysshe Shelley's Prometheus Unbound, 3 Oceanids, Ione, Panthea, and Asia, were described as winged beings inhabiting the Caucasus Mountains. Throughout history, the Oceanids have been depicted in various ways. In Gustave Doré's painting The Oceanids, they are shown mournfully surrounding the rock on which Prometheus is chained, while in Wilhelm Trubner's study of a female figure in Frothy Wave, titled Oceanide, they are tumbling among the waves. However, some portrayals have been criticized for lacking classical decorum. Despite this, later artists have found new ways to depict the Oceanids. William Adolphe Bouguereau's painting Oceanide shows a nude Oceanid lying on the shore, comparing her lissom body to the undulations of the sea. In this way, the mischievous sea nymphs continue to captivate and inspire artists and audiences alike.